Good morning. I like in this view, it's a little bit too far down. Nice music, but I usually don't like music. And we need the chat up. Oh, and stick that on there. All right, so we got to the point where we can get a message out. Now I'm still like really unhappy with this snippet structure. Now I think like the things we've got here pretty much, other than message type, are exactly what we need for the text message type. So I'm thinking about going back to the enumerated type, but only mapping the text message that I have an example of, and then mapping the other types as they come up. And the awkward bit is that you essentially have to define a type alias for just that one record you're going to put into that one enumerated thing, because it doesn't give you a constructor for it. A constructor with positional arguments, which is kind of what you need to do. Well, I mean, this might actually fit into a map-n by this point, rather than this style. But the maps are still fundamentally doing a linear process. So effectively, a decoder is a decoder A is a result, a value, a function of value to result string A. Not as implemented that way, but it's roughly equivalent, except you can't actually do that, so you can't do something that goes and does a bunch of decoding and then returns a result, which is kind of occasionally annoying. And because you have to deal with that results at every possible, it might be a failed result at any step. You have to be able to kind of go step by step by step by step by step and deal with the errors, which means you can't have something that's just, here's a structure, here's a bunch of decoders, fill it in. So I think to do that sort of enumerated record with a structure of details, and actually, there was like 2 fields that I think we determined were in everything, or well, definitely in everything. There could have been more. I mean, display content, I think, which says whether display message is available, is optional. This is text message only. Message type is saying the type. Author was not in some messages, so I think live chat ID and is there any way to get messages? And I seem to have made this so small we lost our sidebar. Is there any way to search messages that does not imply the chat ID? Required parameters, live chat ID. Oh, you probably need that when inserting. live chat ID. You can only API can only insert text. Oh. And when you're creating one, you have to have the message details part. So this does tell us something about the really important parts. Now, if I was actually making a thing to encode this, I could maybe have live chat ID as a parameter rather than having it as part of the object. Although this, so I was thinking, you know, if I always fetch things by live chat ID, do I really have to have the ID in the message? This makes that a little bit more, if it's a required, well, I understand that the database level is required. So published at, I think certain message types will probably have a display message. We don't have examples of the other messages yet. And I think a text message. You know what? Display message in, Java or whatever they have behind this might be a function that gets a message from whatever it is. And then text message details is the actual data for a text message. So do we even need to, well, it's probably convenient to pull out display message, but it could probably be regenerated in most cases. So for a text message, I'm really tempted to leave live chat ID out, because I don't know of any way to get messages without specifying the live chat ID. If I ever have to encode it, I could make that a parameter. So the question is, can we get our syntax to fix here? Can we make this, and actually if we're doing it that way, then the syntax turns into, we would have the actual types, we're back on insert. The actual types you can have are, this would be a text message event. Or we would have an unknown event of type. And the only other thing that we can say about that is, for certain, is that it has a published at. Everything else, we don't know. We're pretty sure it's going to have a published at. I think all our fields are in some sense optional. Now a text message event we know all events have time. Actually, could we do just time message? If we leave out live chat ID, message type is author. Because this would avoid the problem of having a structure which has a constructor, and then maybe only the bigger ones. And been kind of leaning towards time, because like every message has a timestamp. Which makes me wonder if I need a two-level structure where you have basic stuff and then the enumerated type. Because in theory, you can actually talk about time independent of Well, I mean, this is still part of the type definition here. This is mostly going to be time, data. This one has an author ID, which is actually technically... no, this is my generic one. This definitely has an author ID. And I guess the annoying thing here is we lose names. When we're actually using this, it's going to be really convenient to have names for things. Instead of having to remember the argument order. In an event that's small enough, we could just do name time. But if I do this, then I have to define what actually looks a lot like this. Where we have this. We believe author ID is going to be required in this case. Is it author channel ID? It is author channel ID. And for a text message, the text message is actually like the essential feature. What is text message details message text would be... So given that we know it's this thing, we think all these fields are going to be effectively required. So we kind of have to use a structure here instead of doing it literally, because we're doing a decoder, we need a positional argument way to do this. Unless there is a way. Elm decoder with anonymous record. To record built by a data constructor. Ah, yep. Yeah, so this is exactly what we're doing. Although anonymous is not the right word, but... accepts a name. Yeah, name E. This is actually an older version of the decoder. Type alias it, and then you do that. Yeah, once again, older version of the decoder API. Not to use records with data constructors, yeah. It's the same, but it's different. Oh no, that is the same, it's just a different prefix on it. Members only. Yeah, that looks like it's about as good as it gets. So then you have a... this would actually be small enough to use the shorter style decoder. This is the text message details. Text message event details. Oh, did it on that one first. Text message event details, and you published at, which is a time stamp. We have author channel ID, which is just going to be a string. And, oh, this is, I can get a little bit from this. It's a little bit different format. So it's not going to be a map. We're not going to consider it a maybe because it's required in this structure. And this is only a map 3. And then our snippet decoder. Wait, did I... Live chat message snippet. Right. Oh, I started a new definition up here. So there's the decoder for that. Okay. Substructure decoder. Live chat message snippet. So this is the old one. Do I need to keep this around? It'll be in source control. All right, so this is going to be a field type string. And then message type is a case message type. Massage type. Message type of. And this is text message event. This is map text message event on a text message event text message. Yeah, wrong. Okay, that's from one of the text message event details decoder. And all else goes to map. Actually, map 2. Unknown event with message type and timestamp. It's going to be implicit in the type, I think. We're just ignoring live chat ID because the way we get it, that's implied. Live chat message snippet. Oh, yep. So this is going to be a little bit more annoying to use. Live chat message. I mean, well, I'm going to need author details in many cases. And then where we use this, we just end up mapping it out to our structure so we don't have to deal with this junk. Alright, so we're currently not breaking down any of that stuff. Oh, so I'm not sure I can get to... Well, it's listed as exposed, so we'll have to see. My message. Snippet. Oh. But this is possibly not a displayable thing. And I guess I would never notice if it wasn't a message, if I didn't do something with it. Okay, snippet of text. So we're going to say YouTube dot text message event. And we care about the published at and the message text. No, this is... Oh, you know, I could actually do this as a details. And then details dot. And YouTube dot unknown event, which has a published at. Let's just enumerate it, I think. Message type and a published at. So we can put a little note in here that we got a unknown event with a published at and a message type. Decode 187. What? Oh, it's just not type alias, this is a type. You should be a type alias, though. Which probably means we forgot, like, a parenthesis. Yeah. Pardon. Oh, this has to be a... because it's a literal value. Doesn't solve our syntax problem, though. What am I missing here? I'm mad about something else, but okay. Can we just do... This is going to be the wrong kind of thing. Let's check the syntax. Yeah, so wrong type. That'd be wrong type. Oh, syntax error. Why are we getting a syntax error? Oh, well, that's probably not helping. What am I missing? Why is it a syntax error? Expecting one argument but was given two. What? Where was it given to? Oh. We need to remove that if we remove the case. And now we're back to that. The second is string. Decoder string. Decoder string. So that can be a real decoder. So now we've got different types. Yep. Somewhere in changing all of that, we accidentally fixed some bad syntax. Okay. So that compiles. And it fetches data. Okay. I might actually need to expose a few of these structures for later handling. I guess we're going to have to feel our way through that. Rework message. Rework API message type as enumerated type. Mapping only things we have examples of. All right, and maybe some point we'll break and we'll learn what with that. All right, so now we actually have something we can do. So I guess the first thing to do would be to notice on every message. So we need to keep notification. So anytime we get this back, update, got live chat messages. So every time we get a response back, and I did read this right. Some are all in the history. Messages in the are ordered from oldest to newest. So you're going to have to page through all the pages to figure out if there's new messages. Hopefully that won't really be that big of a problem. So until we start paging, every time it's going to be a full replacement. But what's going to be the difference is, and do I still have a little, yeah, notification.send. Its number of items is kind of the main thing. Number of messages, number of items isn't the main thing we care about. So if list.length model.messages greater than list.length response.items, then notification.send. Oh, we do want the my message of it, though. Do not have to deal with all the peculiarities of the structure. So let new messages equal list.map. In list length new messages, then notification.send. Oh, we actually need to find the difference to say if we're going to do anything with this. Well, no, we do. And actually, I'm not sure how this works with multiple messages. I know there's a re-notify thing that we might need to play with. Core list. Probably we're going to need to drop. So we have the new batch of messages, and then we have the actually new messages. Oh, naming is hard. received, and then new is list.drop list.length model.messages out of received, and then if list.length if new not equal to empty list, then actually we can just map this, right? Well, we're going to do implicit command dot batch over list dot map and we want m dot author display name m dot message text so that's just the string, and then notification dot send list command message. Oh, actually, might want to actually specify the array we're iterating over here. The list. List message. Alright, so my message type. Oh, it still says display message here. Which actually is appropriate for overall how I'm doing this, I think. Okay. Now what we know is if we do something again, okay, that even, well, we probably don't want to do this on the first. Well, what's the first? Because if we do this for the entire backlog, it'd be a little gnarly. But that is progress. No, we don't seem to actually. Notifications. Block allow. Edit. Nope, there is no setting. Interesting. I've actually blocked no YouTube. Is it possible they would send me messages? Now, they probably wouldn't notify me for my own messages. Yeah. I mean, that would be kind of silly. All right, so we got something basic message-wise going, or notification-wise. Send notification on any new message. All right, I'm gonna take a short break, and then we're gonna see about. We don't want to do this like if we refresh. There's a whole bunch of messages. We don't want to spam them all up. Just getting them on the screen. Although I don't know if that would work in a full screen game, which you may have to test. Blah, 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 blah. Be back in a few minutes. Twisty Twiny. And it's also just kind of fun tree houses with lots of interesting views of things. The other thing the game has is lots of pretty scenery. Cool stuff to see. So I mean, you think of this area as the tutorial area.
Oh, gotcha. Right. Fahrenheit. I live in a country that uses ye old Celsius. So I was like, what? But that totally makes sense. 100%. Okay, let's get liquefiable stuff. This is ice and snow. Copy your settings over. Like that.
Mode. And I guess I'll select, these are really simple, so game in edge mode now, so I want to switch back to faces, Alt, right click. Guess we go ahead and click, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Control Z. Alright, right click, oh, just shift right click.
Can we get some more damage going here, please? Artillery beam? You're so awesome! Let's do that. Boom, boom, boom. His weapons are basically down at this point. We're really... I feel like I would have liked... There we go. That's a good amount of damage. Yeah, man, artillery beam's on point. 2 missiles, 1 drone, 35 scrap, won't accept surrender. Third time that artillery beam is a total bro and takes out their cloaking. Boom! 1 fuel, 1 drone, 45 scrap. Nice.
Well, that's a black one. Of course, now it's going to beep at me.
I am Alam Moon. I like it.
Nu moeten we... Ja,
Alright.
ik denk dat we dit gaan verliezen 1-0.
Hopefully fix that one. Now. So if I do a reload on this, we get spent with a bunch of new messages. So either we have to do a special case for the first batch. I don't know that I want to do a separate message. Because if there were no message, it would be fairly common for there to be no message at start. Can't just say if previous messages was empty. Oh, how about we just say... I don't know, and Chatty is smart. Well, Chatty doesn't get any previous history. This actually gets history. It doesn't get new messages. You know, this is the data API. I mean, this is live chat. Requesting additional results. Oh, I wonder if, hey, Captain Junk, how's it going? I wonder if, am I getting a next page in this? I think, even in these early ones. Oh, I am getting a next page token. So I still have to mark that first one. Oh, I wonder if then they're... Huh. This is Elm, which is a functional language, sort of more in the ML family, that compiles to JavaScript. There's a special focus on front-end web applications and, you know, being very approachable for users, which sometimes means stripping out features like I don't remember the proper term, but abstract data types like monads and those sorts of things. So maybe polling is supposed to call next page token, because this is a very specific token that would then be specific to the fact that we got 3 results, not 100 or whatever we passed. So yeah. Well, so I am still going to have to track. Oh. If I have a next page token, or if I had a next page token, then it was an update. If I didn't, it was the first batch, and we probably don't need to notify things. Okay. So I'm probably going to want an actual update button for initial testing here. Which is going to be kind of silly that we have you know what, I could just send none, couldn't I? I mean, maybe an update button wouldn't be the bad thing in general. So model.messages. Button on click. Update. Text update, just for a little janky dev button. And now we have to handle that in our update function. UI view dot update. We've only got one fetch. Well, we've got 2 fetches. Okay. And for now, we could just do a full refresh. So we don't have the ability to paginate or... Ooh. We're going to have to assume that fetches with the next page token are additional, maybe? Oh, and this needs is going to be model.token, I think. Oh, that might be a maybe. Model.auth, probably. Oh, which is a maybe, so we don't need to supply the jest. My token's about to expire here. All right, so now we got this. Oh, right, I'm doing a full replacement. Because I've not had the ability to receive additional things yet, and I probably need to look into making these timeout. Ooh, is having that timeout a thing? Alright, so we've got a janky way to update this. Rough manual update. Alright. So I think what we want to do is store our page token in our model. Model notification status, location, request state, that's OAuth, auth. Broadcast list messages. Messages page. Interestingly enough, this is basically the same. Oh, I'm sending the wrong message. Fetch live. Fetch chat messages, and that needs cast, and it is a maybe broadcast. Maybe broadcast, which is going to be model.broadcast, I believe. Model.auth, cast, live chat ID. $33. Oh, okay, I started doing this. And we update, we only get the messages. Alright, so the thing I'm curious about. So we had a GL and a GL. Okay, so our next page. Oh no, our next page token has changed a little bit. Interesting. I guess technically it's a new query. Alright, so this is technically a fix on last time. Now, message page token is a maybe string, which is going to start as nothing. And when we get a live broadcast, now when we get a live chat message, we want to say that, okay, response. Message next page token equals response.next page token is just. And then this, whether we send a command, if model dot message page token is not equal to nothing, then we send no updates. And we have to do an else command.none. Model command message. Message page token. Maybe string. Oh. I was thinking, maybe, well, it could be that the event is currently live. So I would have to check on a non-live broadcast to see if it had an next page token with no results. But it's already a maybe. All right, so we did not get notifications, and then we updated. Ooh. I would have expected that to do notifies. So we need. Now we can see what it's ending up as. Message page token is a thing. Oh, but I have no new messages in that case. Because it's not actually a useful update. So we have 0 messages, but it'll still go through this map over nothing batch it process. Okay. Makes sense. All right, so we record the token. Now, how do we pass that to an API call? Page token. So this is an optional URL parameter to the live chat message URL. So right now it's live chat ID. Looks like we also need to do a maybe string for the maybe page token. It starts to make this slightly awkward. So let page equals case. Well, we could map this. And page token maybe dot map. If it's a token, then we want to do and page token equals token, and we say maybe dot with default nothing, and that ended up being a longer one actually. All right, so we've got live chat ID, we've got page. And everything that calls this. So you need to be maybe string for auth, live chat ID, Maybe string. This is going to need arguments at some point here. All right, fetch live chat messages and get live broadcasts. So this is actually just gonna always send to nothing. We're not concerned about you as much. I might actually want to make a function somewhere. That does update chat messages model. Model to command message, and then take all this stuff. So I could actually use this in the other place. And it'll catch to nothing and it'll be fine. Model broadcast. So you need to be map to you to live chat ID to model.message page token. Update chat messages. And I don't get to reuse. Ooh. If pass it through here, I would have to do an updated model here to include the broadcast. M2 equals this. And then we are M2 update chat messages M2, which point this is a little one-liner. We lost our in somewhere. Because it used to be one-liner. Nizos, thank you for the host. Hello, I don't think I don't always have the best number, but I don't think we've met before. I don't remember you. I probably might need to be... Okay, not showing up yet. I should take a note to have a look at you later. It's going okay. Some parts of this API are very frustrating. So it looks like they have... Okay, yeah. I haven't interacted with Twitch chat. I've done a bunch of other Twitch API stuff, but I have not dealt with the chat, which is IRC essentially. Yeah, so the big frustration with this for me has been that the data structure, it looks like it is a using an inheritance in an object-oriented language. So, the parts of it are kind of shape-shifty. So like, well, this thing's depreciated, but like a text message might have this thing, message deleted might have this thing, user banned might have this thing. Well, I mean, that's sort of, but, optional fields. I think has display content refers to this. Some things don't have an author channel ID, and it means different things in different messages. And it all comes down to this type field. So I've been really kind of back and forth on, well, do I just map it literally? Do I try to do an enumerated type thing, and I don't have examples for all of them? So for now, I'm just doing the text messages that I know about, and everything else is an unknown, tough. Yes, it is OAuth, and I think actually, yeah, my token is actually just about to expire. So next time I reload, I'm probably going to take this off screen to try not to leak any information from the OAuth screen. I need to deal with the token refresh at some point. Yeah. So what I do, I just redirect, and I don't remember. I think this might actually need a server. I don't remember if you can do it off file, but I need one anyway for the notifications. So for token refresh, I use the location or navigation library, and that gives you the you subscribe to location events and streaming. It's 480, I think. No. Oh, did I forget to change? Oh, I did forget to change my profile. I'm sorry. Is that actually a problem? Is it worth taking the stream down to change it? I forgot to change my higher resolution settings. Okay. Be right back. Alright, it should say that I'm up. Well, yeah, I mean, hosts seem to take a minute or two to drop. I can usually do some quick changes off. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's on my checklist. I just skipped over it today. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so you get the location library. That allows me to extract the access token, and if you're being fancy, you can get a UUID. Don't think I'm fully utilizing this in this application, but you can compare that when you get updates to something you put in local storage to sort of verify that it was actually the thing you were dealing with. So yeah, you just this is a login link. When it doesn't have a token, and then that just is the OAuth redirect. I just literally in the view. Should be something about auth in here. Model.auth. Authorize URL. Yeah, if there's no authorization, we do this authorize URL, which just constructs this stuff. Client ID redirect URI back to our URL for redirect, location.here, drop that such on the parameters. All the response type, scope, encoded stuff. And then I do this state in here so I can theoretically validate it. And then back here in init, we pull out the arguments. I made a little helper function without getting into big libraries, which there might be ones that make it a little bit easier. To pull out hash arguments, and then you get your auth and the state if I want to check it. And then you've got a token that you can actually. Oh, because in this API, you can't just use the token. You're supposed to go validate the token, which is a HTTP call, which we get back on URL expect. Oh, yeah. Token info, which has the original token and then the info about it, and that's where I get my expires in, which for debugging purposes. And then I start going to fetch stuff. So yeah, this is the client side flow. I would actually need a server to do the server side flow where you can actually just keep it around. But yeah, I do have to deal with the expiration, so I've not dealt with that. But it's like an hour, which is good enough for what I'm doing right now. And I guess while I'm thinking about it, I should just go ahead and refresh. And actually, yeah, so we can see that I refreshed, token is invalid. I got my login thing. Granted, is for the notifications, HTML notifications. So now if I go log in, it's going to show me a screen that has my name and email address and stuff I'd rather not show. So we just reauthorize, and now we've got a longer expire time. All right, so where was I? I was adding next page token. And we were having a compiler error on line 89. Model broadcast and might be broadcast is there. That's the model. List.head response items to maybe.map my broadcast. I know I've done this kind of thing before. Is it just a general syntax error? Maybe.map. Command.none. Okay, model equals model.broadcast, map to cast, fetch live messages, model.message page token. Oh, I got a leftover thing here. Oh, we got a maybe string somewhere, which probably isn't helping. All right, and now we've got this undefined model because we commented it out. Wait. Is this like some sort of name? Okay, there's the line. Oh, well, we did have a long line notice there, so I think there was too much white space there. All right. Model command message. Update chat messages. Model. All right. So now if we update, ooh, because right now I'm doing a full replace, but that essentially answers my question about what we got back. So now if we do a new message and update, hey, oh, and unfortunately my notices are appearing. I guess I should, that, I forgot my camera is actually right over where my notices are appearing. All right, so now we want to update the messages list. Got chat messages. All right, so this is going to start to turn into a little bit more of an involved thing. Break that out a little bit. So we got received, we got new messages. This should be a straight up list dot append. Oh, this is received. We want model dot messages received. Oh, not received. Well, actually received is new. So as long as we don't redo that, they're implicitly the new messages. Oh yeah, actually that's going to remove messages. Oh. Just verify. Yeah, we got exactly one message. I guess we're successful. So we got everything there, and then we do another test, and we update. Okay. So that seems to be working pretty well. So that is working with. Yep. So do that. Threaded the model through there because we extracted an update function. Update chat messages. I had to thread the new argument through. Next page for new chat messages. So actually, even if we have a super long messages, we'll just be updating at the polling interval. We'll eventually get there. So now the other thing we have to pull out is it the resource representation? We need the actual list response, which gives us polling interval as the recommended time. And just, what is the curiosity? 1000. Okay. A mere 1 second. Oh, you know what? They can probably change that when it's if they're under a lot of load to scale things back. All right, so now we need message polling they call it polling interval. Polling interval is a time. We're going to message polling interval. I guess time dot second is the bad thing to start with. And then got message dot live chat message. Hello, Lucaneth. I have this problem where you may have just heard a ding. That's from a program called Chatty that hooks into Twitch IRC. And one of the features is that if it's been a little while since there was a chat message, it beeps at me in case I've gotten caught up in what I'm doing. I've been restreaming to YouTube, and Restream has a multi-chat window, which I've currently got on an OBS monitor. I guess since I'm chatting, I could actually push that up so you could see that I'm chatting there, although that could block out some of the documentation as well. But I've occasionally had a situation where I've got caught up in something, Twitch was quiet, somebody chatted on YouTube, but I didn't notice it, and I felt really bad. So if I can get hooked into chat messages and notice when there's new ones, I can do a very similar thing where if it's been, a couple of minutes since the last chat message, then I do my own little beep. I mean, actually, I do want to see if the browser notifications will pop up over the full screen game as well, because that might actually be enough to make it noticeable. So we were going into here. We were grabbing message polling interval response dot polling interval millis, and then in our subscriptions, we go into here and we say time.every model.message polling interval. Send me a message. There's all my API stuff. There's all my view stuff. Token info is a response. Auth is a token generation. That kind of goes with token info. So now we want to say chat message update time. So current URL, message update. Oh wait, did I forget to put that in? I think I did in the subscriptions. And I don't actually care what the time is. I just know that I need to do essentially the same thing as my update button here. Update chat messages and subscriptions. I forgot to actually do and now I've forgotten. Does time want the message or the time argument first? It wants the delay time and then the function that processes the messages. All right, and we messed something up. Sounds cool. I've never heard of Elm. Okay, so Elm is a functional language, sort of in like the ML family, but trying to be a little bit more user-friendly. It's focused on web applications and compiles to JavaScript. I probably haven't updated time yet. I'm going to need for a couple things here. Message polling interval. Oh, that's right. They gave me milliseconds. Okay. Yeah, so Elm is a strongly typed language. So it can do some type inference, but there are type signatures. That gives you a lot of messages like this to catch a lot of the early errors. And Elm is functional, which means that you do not have mutable state. You change things by... You change your application state, so to speak, by your update function, which the system gives you your previous model. You return a new model an updated model after every call, and then you'll get it back on the next update. It's actually, I think it may have inspired the React Redux model, if you ever played with that. And that pattern is actually called the Elm architecture, just kind of the way they handle state. All right, so I needed to... They gave us an int, which made perfect sense there, but Elm's time is technically a float. So when we pull in the interval, we have to say, convert to a float. And now we're polling every second. That actually... I almost think that might be too much for the activity on my channel, but it's there. And there we got that. So I might actually put a... this would be a max. I forget if this is in math or basics, and if it's pre-imported. Yes, I don't remember if that particular function is pre-imported. Max of, 5 or 10 seconds would be kind of enough for my purposes. Because it just seems like a bit much for what I'm doing. All right, and then it will. Yeah. And now this is actually something we might want to pull out and go. So would we call this a minimum, or would you call it a maximum polling interval? A smallest polling interval equals 10 times time dot second. Smallest set. And that should compile again. All right, so that won't be hammering things quite as hard. Message update. I got our interval. And actually, that was not too bad. Message polling. All right. So now what we want to do is, what do I have this set as? Yep. Covered something there. Settings, message. Is there a separate thing? Notifications. Chat messages in my channel. Sound. Passive cooldown 2 minutes. So I've actually got published at times. So, although I would have to dig through to the last message of the previous batch to get its timestamp. So it might actually be easier to keep the last messages received in the model. So you can do a quick compare on the timestamp we got new messages and decide if you need to do well, what's for the sound notification? Can HTML5 notifications do a sound, or do I have to notification sound, audio tag, Zetcodalink, thank you for the follow. Glad you like watching me look up documentation. So I might have to go back to the audio tag thing I did before. And that sound. href click. Oh, this is YouTube's library. Okay. Or is it YouTube or Yahoo? Howler.js. So that would be figuring out how to figure out that work. Audio. Oh. Oh no, this actually is inserting it into something. I think. Oh no, this is just audio. Audio.play. Because I was just inserting an audio tag into the page before. Now that is completely Elm, doesn't involve ports, but I've already got ports for notifications, so I could actually... So let's temporarily grab my other notification file. I think I'd want a different one for this. Oh, and sometimes the colors are not great in this color scheme. So that's actually going to be kind of terrible there. Maybe if I go back to this, I can actually find the path I was using in this project. I'm probably in the view. Yeah, I can actually find this string. So I'm curious, can I just stick that in my existing notification JavaScript to do... Oh, we probably would want to do var audio equals new audio. And then we just do audio.play. And that's not even going to need to recompile. Although I do, for that, I am going to want to do a little notification. I think I had a little test. Yeah, I got notification status. Hi! Thanks for testing for me. Okay, so did I doing something for the volume on that? Because I don't remember it being that loud in my other application. Autoplay true. Huh. I'd swear I had turned down the volume on that somehow. Did I leave my system volume up from something? No. Because I'd swear last time I did that, and actually I can test that pretty quick. Which one was it? I haven't used this in a while. Now, this is actually an online one. Oh, the online one doesn't have my configuration. Oops. Oh, yeah, it's actually... I feel like it's either Windows or Chrome has made that louder than what it used to be. But I do seem to have lost my configuration somewhere there. Huh. So, you know what? The whole... It's like in Elm, I had to do this thing where I had to do like, well, if I'm on my repeat sketch, well, I'd still have to trigger an event on it. I still have to track this, but you have this kind of weird thing where you have to like add and remove a audio element to make it play. Oh, you know what? I can't just build this into here because I think I might want to try popping up that little toast thing every time. And then having a separate thing, which means doing a separate port. So, I mean, I can probably arrange... So, yeah, so the trick with that is that I have to force it to do a remove of the element and then an insert of the element every time I want it to play. But this application is going to be doing that too often. So that was an interesting experiment. I think I'm going to need to take that and down volume it essentially. Can the audio tag affect its volume? Background, okay. That's in JavaScript. No volume by browsers, so you must set it in JavaScript. So that means it's not going to be necessarily a user controllable thing. Which means I'm probably going to have to down volume that file, I guess? Oh, you know what? I think there was a point where I opened my settings and I was like, why is my browser volume down? I just figured out why. So yeah, but I actually don't want that sound. That is a rather loudish sound. So let's reload that so it doesn't go off on us. Blah, 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 blah. And all right, so that's appropriate-ish. So now we need something we can stick in our application. What we were just found here, there is no volume attribute supported by browsers. And we can see... Interesting. This is source versus source. That might be for multiple formats. So we could... Yeah, this, I don't think this ever showed up as a visible audio control. Or maybe it did, and I just kind of tended to tune it out. So this will actually go off pretty quick and be very, very loud because I lost my configuration somehow. Yeah, I don't see anything visible on here that lets you interact with it. Maybe that's a thing you have to do. How to play sound. Yeah, that's that play. I want documentation for the HTML5 audio tag. Bed audio element. Controls. Offer controls. So the awkward thing is you can only show the controls while it's playing. And if you're adding and removing the element, will it... actually... Oh. Maybe this is a HTML header? Maybe. So I guess we need to actually get this kind of repeat stuff going, which might mean... I might actually want to see if I can pull some code out of this. Because I know I had like an alarm section. We have silent, in violation, rest, notice, timeout, violation, not violation, violations to bool, timeout, check timeout, start greater than timeout, merge alarms, alarm start. Okay, this is pulling out attributes. Is alarming, update, repeat. Yeah, so this might actually be a nice little... Well, you know what? I don't need to repeat, though. What I need is the transition from silent to violation. So we get into alarming, time minus start. How is this used? This is my mic check. View frame audible alarm. Set frame alarm level. Check alarms. Audio alarming, frame alarming. Is alarming, are you on? And is your alarm audible? Oh, right, because I had the ability to turn off the audio notices, which might be something I'd actually want to do. Then update repeat, because this is repeating, otherwise rest. Time. Alarm equals alarm, which is the merge alarms of these. And check audio alarms. Did alarm state. In parts of the view, we need to know, is audio playing if it is in notice or rest? So this is actually part of, okay, so alarm repeat. I don't actually need repeat, but I do need the concept of playing or not playing. Yeah, this is a more of an event-based thing, where we have to trigger it. And then there is no repeat period, though. Yeah, time greater than start, then rest from current time. So I might actually have a variation of this, so we do need to update the time. Greater than or equal to off, so we could just do off as max int and it'll never go into notice. Now we don't have... Oh, and this also had another feature which I don't have here, which is you are in a violation state for a period of time. And then if that timer times out, then you alarm. Now we do have a timer, but it's used differently. Yeah, so I might riff on this code a little bit, because we do have like silent and alarming. And then we have sort of like this where we're in notice mode. I am not a musician. I tried to learn to do harp a little bit and never really kept with it, so I've had a tiny amount of exposure to musical stuff, but I never really learned to like read sheet music or actually get good to where I could pick it back up. However, I think I'm going to take a short break. It's just time for a break. And then see about setting up some sort of alarm stuff. Yeah. I mean that is an expression that has gone into general use, but yeah, I'm gonna take a short break, be back in a few minutes. And then we'll see how we can manage the state of we need to add an audio element to the DOM so it plays, and then remove it. I guess I could do the thing where I remove it for a second and then add it again to trigger it. That might be, because we're already on delays. So if it waits a second, that won't be a huge deal. Anyway, be right back. Going up. You beautiful people. So, I guess that one's got to stay a ladder. Man, if they're on exosuit duty, it just takes so long to get back.
So are we all right? Oh my god. Oh. Oh god. Thank you, Pie Maker. Oh, India West. If I come across your grave, I will bury you, sir.
Don't recall if I'm looking for Rocky Organic right now to get the habitat.
Freestyle session, ain't no mashing. Hope she must have made an impression. I'm a pop one.
Shout at me when that's gone.
Participated in doing Carrot Farm so far tonight, and a big part of that has been that this game's really goddamn overwhelming, and I just didn't know what I was doing. But there's a lot of...
Whoop. Okay, so yeah, I guess the gravity's getting a little bit weird. Maybe I need the trailer for stability.
Or I don't know, maybe it's time to like just bring a habitat and stuff down here.
Well, I did a habitat up there, and I just wanted to get the...
I am just
Handy
seeing that
trailer.
trailer doing barrel rolls.
log out here yet. There was something else playing last time I was close to it.
O Lord God, helper of those who seek you, I see you in the garden of paradise, and I do not know what I see.
Is a thing that allows you to convert polluted water into regular water. So this big pool of pea water, basically, is what we use for the main water of our base when necessary. We do have 3 coal generators here as backups. We're only down to 9 tons of coal. I actually didn't have a natural gas geyser that I could find on this map. I explored the whole map like crazy, desperately looking for a natural gas geyser. Never.
All right. Welcome back. So we want to take, there's pieces of this we use. We've got some kind of alarm state. We got something sort of like this, but it's only kind of timed one way. And I might actually, let's see, why did I separate these? Oh, probably because I didn't want like alarms toggling back and forth to reset my repeat perhaps? All right, I don't know if I necessarily need a module for this. This may have been just because there was a chunk of code and I wanted to share it with the view a bit. The lazy way of doing this is just put it in the view so the main module can access it. But we're only going to have like one alarm condition. It's just we need to have some degree of time element. Where we say we play it, and then for the length of that clip, it stays in the DOM, and then we take it back out so that when we add it, so we have a state that says we are playing an alarm with a start time. That while that is... So that could just be a, well, I could actually just use a maybe time for that. Maybe start time. While that's just true, we add it to the DOM and we check it to see if it's been long enough. So that's actually a pretty good basic implementation. This got a little bit more involved. So notification. So we've got a model. Also, while that's present, we subscribe to time. Could probably even do a time.every with that amount, which I think would make it come back at the right point in time. All right, so we have message polling. We have a audio notice is a maybe time. Haven't gotten into only triggering this at certain times, but okay. So then we have audio notice is a nothing initially. Although maybe I would want to trigger that for testing purposes. Anyway, we've got some mechanics to set up. When we get new messages, certainly, we want to say audio notice is just, oh, we don't have a current time here. And we need a time to do this. I just took a break. Good timing, I guess. So we actually have to send a command. So if there were notifications, and we've already got a list here, actually. I just going to have to change how we do it a little bit to append to this. All right, so right now this is throwing that into this function. You know, we can reverse this to make it kind of follow a little bit of a flow better. So we can say make a list and pass it to this. And then we can say to that list of notification commands, we want to prepend. And this takes an operator and turns it into a regular function style, so we can pass it to this apply function operator. We want to pass the time.now, which will give me a command to go get a timestamp and tell me, and then send to me. Oh, this is going to be, we're going to append this command. Time.now with audio start, I guess. So I guess we'll our time messages here. Audio start. Message update. Type message. There we go. Audio start at a time. This gets recorded in model as was it audio something? Audio notice equals just time. Command.none by itself. And actually, we know we're going to need another message. Assuming every works, this is going to be an audio end. And we go to subscriptions and say time.every audio notice length. Probably we don't actually have a sample yet. Subscriptions, audio notice length, we send an audio end with the timestamp, but so audio start, but really we just can at this point say, I should have just taken this one, equals nothing. And then in the view, we, kind of wherever. We got our login stuff, our test stuff, and then here's actually we do want to borrow some code. Audio playing. If model.audio notice is not equal to nothing, then let's see, we're going to need an else. This just gives us a no op for that. And this is going to be annoying enough to copy. We can still use it for testing purposes, although we might want to see if there is in fact a volume adjustment. I don't know if that's a mapped property. Yeah, so that is going to be an attribute, maybe? Notification main, audio end. Now, really, is it not a command that gives me a response? How else would it work? Oh, it's a task. Every is just a subscription. But to get the result of a task, it's probably task. Task dot perform. All right. Time dot now. I guess you maybe could chain some tasks together, so that's useful to do. So time dot now by itself gives us a task. And we want task.perform the task. We're returning that message. So now we have to import task. Okay, that gets us a compilation. I probably need to make this. I should probably. Oh, because I'm doing it on all of these right now. Okay, so volume definitely does not work. I guess we could test that. Just double check. Oh, because it only exists while it's playing. Yeah. Oh, it hadn't compiled yet. But yeah. So let's do a quick update on this, because that's kind of annoying. So, right, I'm triggering it on every What? Okay, you hadn't compiled yet. Or does autoplay not work? Okay. You just hadn't compiled yet. So why? Right now it's doing it on every update. I think I added it to the wrong... no, audio notice. No, not audio notice. I guess it is audio start. This is got chat messages. Oh, this is doing it regardless of whether they're... Yeah, I didn't check if the... I didn't really need to check the length before. If list.length received is greater than 0. Make sure we wait for it to compile. All right, now I'm not seeing anything here. So we do true, and then we need something. We have no means to adjust volume in ohms, so we just have to do some audio tweaks to our file. But let's see, where it was... Did my other project record where I got this from? freesound.org. And this is not, I don't need a alarm. This time. Probably just a ding. Here we go. Okay, that's, yeah. Church bells, no. Sleigh bells. This is the... Eh. Eh. Oops. Ding drum. That's got the microwave sound in it. No. 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 That's actually not so bad. What's the terms on this one? Creative Commons 0. Public domain. All right, so I think that other one was similar, but I still like to give them credit. All right, and it's not too loud either. All right, so actually this is. Oh, I did the little reset, so it's back to 1 hour. It actually detected the stream change. All right, so now here's where we go log in. All right, download. File Explorer. Downloads. Ah, that lovely invisible text. All right, so that is obnoxious. So now we want to look at, we've got a good example of how we do this. Readme, markdown, and there's probably some other things we need to fill in here. YouTube chat notification. Shows HTML notifications when, and all of this needs to be pre-made optional. When YouTube chat events occur and can play a sound if chat had been idle for a bit. Don't need either of these. I don't know that I'm going to get into doing a full README right now. So we need a. Actually, this one you kind of do need to build from source. YouTube API key. Unless I can publish it with my key. I'm not going to get into that. Not going to get into that. So just. You know, I'm going to have alert sound is called typewriter ding near mono dot wave, which is found at this address. And by stub. All right, so that gets our basic things in place. All right, so view and actually in public. All right, I can actually copy in here, can't I? Oh, it doesn't have my. This doesn't support my shortcut, so it is W down. No. I don't need to do the cross window paste. Maybe did I? Oh. I hate that black text. Actually, I think I probably copied it, so it was fine. Oh no, I moved it. Oh no, the new one shows up at the bottom because I already had this thing open. I made a really tall window at some point. I deleted the wrong one. I thought it was weird that it was visible, wasn't it? No. What? Did you, like, cache? This is OBS mic check. You... All right, so you do not need this. And I should probably get this back to my actual project. You do not need that. I need to be able to see it. That's right, we have to do window down. Paste. Okay. So now we should not have an obnoxious sound. Let's see. To trigger that, we have to do a command like that. Go to places any. But does it compile? Seems to compile. Oh, and my token expired. Interesting that did not, that coming back to the page didn't replay it. Anyway. So this should actually be on new messages. No, I still got the long pole on here because it's, yep, there we go. So that's kind of cool. And actually, we should be done with this window. Yep. So we got audio there. Oh, I didn't look at the actual... Is there an official length? Yeah, that looks like... Oh, because that's right near the... I can't... Looks like it's about maybe 2 seconds. I mean, 5 is fine, but... Maybe give it 3 for delay. This might already be the previous diff. All right, so let's start. We need to record that information. Oh, my indent is all messed up there. I start because those are all. We start with the list. Then you guys do stuff. And then we want to set this up so it's actually, we're actually somewhere checking time since last message. No, add stuff. Git add readme. Git add nothing public. We're gonna add. Play audio notice. Rough readme for audio credit. All right. Now we really want that to happen if it's been a little while. So let's see. Received messages. So we can probably break this down a little bit for understandability. So we have we specifically don't want to do this on the initial batch. And this is this. We have messages received is list dot length received greater than 0. And what else are we looking for? Well, we have to start tracking time if we can do that. So this is if messages received and not initial batch. So initial batch is this equals to nothing. Got it kind of on a roll of successes here, so I think that worked. And just because I don't want to, maybe it's premature optimization, but I think I'd rather keep the last. Oh, I don't have a timestamp. Unless I tell it to do another time now task perform. Get me my last received timestamp. Now I could just have a timer going and have model.time available at every moment. That's one way to solve that problem. And then that also allows you to solve the turn off the timer problem in a different kind of way. So if we go, You know what? Maybe we just deal with checking the last timestamp in the list, and if it becomes a performance issue, it becomes a performance issue. So we have last time is last time equals list dot head of list dot reverse model dot messages maybe dot map to dot published at and maybe dot with default 0 and new time list dot head is received published at with default last time, which is more likely to be something, and then we can set up our audio notice idle is 2 times 60 seconds. Got live chat messages, and then idle notice equals audio notice idle, or this is new time minus last time greater than audio notice idle. So this is only if message is received. So I might actually be able to do this as if then it's a little and this is the time of the last actual message received. That seems to have compiled. All right, and then we have a faster one. Okay. And then making this all fancy will be like adding a configurable timeout for that, and whether we want to play audio at all, making this look prettier. Did I? Yeah, I guess I did. Must have had to fix the indentation. Okay. Only play audio, and I'm kind of done with you. Okay. Audio notice if chat has been idle for a few minutes. All right, so we have a sort of minimal viable thing. So it's, yeah, so I guess configurable settings would be the most important thing to add to it. So we're going to need some UI stuff, and actually we're kind of done with the update button, so we can replace that message as we add UI features. So rough stuff in. Hello. Thanks for testing. How are you doing today? And I probably need to see if I can figure out if there's a... Can you make these timeout? HTML5 notification timeout. Okay. I wish you were great, but thanks for hanging out anyway. I'm waking up real early, so I should probably be getting to bed earlier, so I'm still a little foggy-headed. Reasonable timeout. Oh, that one actually went away. Maybe it wasn't waiting long enough. Or maybe it's clicking anywhere that just misses it. Aww. Well, this had some mention of timeout. Which you probably should. Well, I mean, maybe they are disappearing. And we don't need to tackle that just yet. Okay. Oh, and then since this is the chat interface, we're eventually going to have to deal with scrolling area and auto scroll and all that stuff. All right, what do we need? We need... oh, token refresh. Okay, that would be another minimal-ish viable thing. We need configurable idle, delay, ability to disable audio notice if you don't want it. We need to chat area with auto scroll. We're eventually gonna need our social links and get the proper README. This goes along with actual style. Maybe I need to have configurable smallest update. Because, I mean, 10 seconds is kind of fine for me. Maybe I should take their recommended timeout. All right. Yeah, I try not to publish it around because it seems like most people on Twitch are that way, but it's kind of impossible to... It would have been extraordinarily difficult to both change my computer account and my GitHub account, given that you can't rename it, and or if you can rename it, then it would break all previous links to my repositories, and I might need to work on previous projects which had links to them in, for some game mods and things. So yeah. So I try not to mention it too much and spread it around, but yeah. It didn't really seem possible to get it, and, people could probably figure it out anyway. I used Wondable along with that name for many years previous. Yeah, it wasn't super practical to be completely anonymous, so I just, try not to make it easy on anybody who wants to abuse that. But it would have been too hard to try and make a true alias. All right, so we have a bunch of notes. One of the things we're going to look at is token refresh, which might get us back into guides. Client-side web apps. Access tokens. In the responses, validate, process the token response. It's calling the API, refreshing the access tokens. When an access token expires, or at any other time, may be able to use a refresh token to obtain a new valid access token. Installed applications during the authorization process. Server-side installed and devices. So maybe that doesn't apply. So post token. Client ID. Oh, I need a client secret. There are limits to the number of one limit. Another per user across all clients. Refresh tokens and continue to use them as long as they remain valid. Google OAuth client side refresh. JS SDK. Only access token. Send refresh token to front end. Integrate APIs with access type. How offline refresh tokens work. Periodically expire. The client object refreshes the access as needed as long as you configure that object for offline access. If you're not using a client library and you set the access type to offline when read your... In that case, authorization server returns a refresh token when you exchange an authorization code for an access token. Maybe that's what the validation process does. Needs to act when the user is not present. Typically not used in client-side web applications. So the token clearly expires. At which point it doesn't validate, and we don't have an API key. After a user grants off, the client object will refresh the access token as needed. Now, from what I've seen, doing that requires a secret. Post client secret. Yeah, this is going to be, if this is a published, I could do this if it was a compile it yourself, insert your secret kind of thing. But if I want to publish this as a web page anybody can use, I'm going to have to go get, and you know what? Now I want to know. Unfortunately, the token expiration times are quite long. So I need to set something up that will notify me when the token expires. Just so I know when it's time, which is an easy thing to do. So they're saying you have to have a client secret in order to do a refresh. Well, you hit expire, so I'm not too concerned about OAuth to refresh web client. That's a JWT. Client side, I think I was just there. AngularJS app. Well, that's ASP.NET. So he's asking how to implement tokens on the server side. That's a JWT. Yeah, refresh tokens are long-lived. All right, so I don't know where you're poking around, but that's what that scared me. But I don't know. I didn't go there. Server. Yeah, this is all server stuff. For client-side web applications. Okay. Only when the user is present. Not able to store confidential information. Yeah, I still have to do my updates. Or check my state tokens. Access scopes. Redirect. Login hit, prompt consent. JavaScript simple code. Handle your server response. Yeah, callback. Validate the token, did that. Calling the APIs. Incremental authorization. Resources at the time you need them. The refresh token. Add scope. Revoking a token. Yeah, so this is for client-side web applications. So this is really a crummy experience. Because at some point this token's going to expire and then we lose access to it. All right, so I do want to see if we can at least set up. So we need a notification. Okay, this notification. So we got all our timer things. They're right around here. Token expired. It's going to receive a time. Subscriptions. Auth, not auth state. Got notification status. Got token info. Token expires. Info. Oh, we need to record that somewhere. Actually, what is the information in a token? Do they have an example of that? Well, I've got a decoder for it, so... Scope expires, user ID, audience. Model. So along with auth, we've got... Sure. Maybe time, which is starting to make this look like it should be something else. Maybe some sort of structure. Maybe we should keep the actual token around. Anyway. auth expires equals nothing. When we get token info, we also want to auth expires equals just expires in, and then we can do subscriptions. Time.every. When we fire this, we turn it off. Okay. Auth expires. Maybe dot map. Model.auth expires. Maybe dot map. This fits into a very inconvenient hole. And maybe dot with default command dot none. Or no, this is sub dot none. And then we need, not audio end. Did I just do auth expired? I hit caps lock, didn't I? There we go. Token expired. Maybe mixing up my terms a little bit. Token info. Where did I? Auth state is a precursor to you. These are kind of all my timer messages. Token expired at a time. Don't really care. I want to turn off that timer in case we have to end up getting a very short one. Auth expires equals nothing. I might eventually need to turn it off. We're going to have to see what happens. And command dot none. Oh, I wanted to. I don't have a timer ticking. Audio notice. Sure, we can use it for now. It's getting a little bit long. And somewhere in the view, title, notification status, login view. If I log out, oh, that's the link. So yeah. Text. expires. Text to string model dot auth expires, which is a maybe. Maybe dot map, or maybe dot with default 0, sure. And maybe, expires is a number of seconds. Expires in. So let's do 2 float on that, and then times time dot second. And we're not doing time updates. That's going to keep. Oh, that was expires in from the original time. So I actually have to do a message, get a time value. So we actually need to calculate expire. All right, well, we still got quite a while, and I need a short break. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Oops. I didn't know you could inhibit that. Okay, sure. It's an object on the landscape, really.
So I want to like alt right click that edge. If I bring this up, how does that look? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, that's much softer. And then yeah, this back face actually, I'm glad I selected that. I need to move this down here.
Be doing this, I wouldn't be with my wife because I obviously wouldn't trust her. Like fucking panic, man. It's cool. It's all cool. Oh shit, I've oh no. I'll see you in a minute, dude. See you in a minute. Sand. Sand that I want. That it? That it? Stone. Sod it, man. I think that next bit was what I wanted.
All right.
Cleared out. Oh,
So we want. Okay, nothing new happened. So now we need to have a thing like audio start where we say time dot now, go get me the time. Where it starts to get tempting to just have a timer running giving me model time, but that makes this debugger thing really hard to use. I mean, as it is, we've got a polling update running. And I need to get some space up there. So we have token expired. We have token lifetime start. So we got token expired, token lifetime start, and this time we actually do care about the time because we want to set auth expires. Yeah, this is actually what auth expires is going to be. This is going to be model auth expires equals just time. No, because we need to get the time. Oh. We need to get the time. So we need a time to add. And expires in a time. So this is just expires in time plus expires in. And this is a command dot none. So when we get token info, we can't just set auth expires. Although we do want some of this stuff. We do a, all right, so this becomes a little bit more complicated. Go to you, this become a command dot batch. And if that was you. And you are there. All right, so here is the time of that. So now we need our time.now task.perform token lifetime start. So and then this should all bracket out. So let's play it out. It's going to be a time value effectively. And then auth expires. We want to be using maybe time, nothing, token lifetime start, expired. Oh, the auth expires is just it's actually a timestamp. We do want to turn off the timer. So now this unfortunately makes this less convenient because this is a time. Here we actually need the difference between current time, which we don't have as subscriptions, and our target time. Alright, I think we just need to close some windows. We're done with that. Audio tag. Volume didn't seem to work. Notification sound, HTML5. So I can record the value and rely on... Yeah, if I record the actual time... then the model would always have to know the current time. Yes, in order to show the current timeout in any kind of interactive way, I would have to record the current time, which means I would need a timer events running, which means my debug message list is going to be basically useless. It's already kind of spammy just from the chat updates. There are a couple of places where I'm getting time values. And actually, one of them is message... Oh, we're already getting message update. That's frequent enough. It's frequent enough. Notification status, location, request state. Notification stuff, authorization. Time is a pretty basic thing. That's actually related to auth. Time equals, we don't know. So audio start, I mean message update will really cover most of us here. Time equals time. And token lifetime start, if we do that, this is another one where we could do time equals time, because that's in the start to bootstrap things. Then in our subscriptions, we have model.time. We can difference with this to get back to t minus model.time. Oh, except that's going to keep on changing the time every time the subscriptions update. Well, it'll effectively cancel that timer and make a new one. So it kind of works. It's just probably causing some extra work behind the scenes. 102. Oh, and I did a change end, which means I lost my command dot. You jerk. Oh, update is the... Not the model update. We weren't even doing a model update. And then you can do a time equals time update, and then subscriptions. T minus time. T minus model.time. And then the view. Auth expires. Needs to do an actual maybe dot map. It needs to be made prettier as well. Actually, this is model.time minus t again. Notification. I know I messed up something in the view that's taken over the error message. No. Oh, we had two parentheses here. Actually, we kind of don't need that one because the only thing going on here. No, view again. I'm beating my things. All right. Oh, I lost my operator. I think I may have taken over my maybe as well. Perform. Wrong module. Well, that was unusually fast. 328. Let me actually want to. Oh, negative. Negative. Oh, you're right. View. T minus. And then. This will be a little more user friendly. And this is a number. So in a couple of minutes, we'll actually be able to see what happens when it expires. It's going to be a little bit yet. Meanwhile, we can start thinking about because I might have to like switch this around and make a different audio sound for you have to log back in now, which is unfortunate. And I may have to go asking around about, is there a reasonable way for our client-side web application to keep refreshing while it's actively doing things with the token? It's a configurable idle delay. It's in a text box. We need to get the results. Once he's sending a message, we can remove that little update thing. So I don't want to be doing code changes while this is going, since we're kind of on this experiment and we're, you know, within 2 minutes. An idle display is going to be putting a control somewhere and then eventually thinking about where to place it nicely. I could make a little helper for this. Once again, I should not be doing two things at once. So, text box. It's gonna be pretty similar. Actually, I think I had this app open. To your view, it's a radio, checkbox, sample window. So yeah, we were using our own custom decoder for target value int. Yep, must have been the auto host. I saw some of your clips coming up in the hostable. Or that's hosting clips, not hostable. So we're going to have something like this. All right, and then we're very shortly about to hit our token expiration and see if that actually starts blocking our calls here. So I may actually need to have it set up so that, well, failures will be 0 messages. So that might work out okay. No, it wouldn't even go to the success call. Okay, token expired. Yep, and here we go. Invalid token. Oh. We're still polling, though. Why are we still polling? Oh, because message update is... what do I call it? Message update is a subscription if we've got the polling interval. So, expires, well, actually, if we get back a failure on got chat messages, which has gotten a little bit large, we want to turn model, message polling interval equals nothing. Close it. Well, I think I'm going to have to click on relogin every so often. Really? Message polling interval is a straight up time. Yeah, we need to not do that. I mean, there are other things I could check. But this makes sense to me. So it doesn't make any sense to poll yet. Well, I mean... But now it's a maybe, so we have to do this thing where we, if Well, we have to case it out, or maybe .map. I feel like time.every has its arguments backwards. Because it's really hard to do these maybe maps over your timing intervals. Maybe.map, this is a time. T. And if it is if that is not there, then we do subscribe to nothing. 46. Nothing time. This is a maybe time. Unfortunately, I have no way to get back to this exact state. But so that should, if that fails, it should shut down. Got live chat. Got live chat messages. Failure. Turn it off if it fails. Yeah, so we try to do the token. It says invalid token. So I can log in and get no token that's good for an entire hour. I probably need to do token expired. Auth equals nothing. No. Yes. So when it expires, but that may also stop water requests. Because we need the auth to do anything. But, man. The problem we have is that every piece of documentation I've been able to find expects this to be used for more interactive applications. For typical applications, you have a server behind the scenes which records the token and a refresh token, and then it uses both the client ID and a client secret to refresh it. But since this is just a front-end web application right now, if I put the client secret in there, it's going to be hanging out there in the JavaScript where anybody could grab it and impersonate the application, so it's not really a secret. So that's generally intended for server-side applications. So they have no client-side refresh method. I guess they want you to have a secret if you're refreshing it. It would be nice if there was something they could do with like a cookie in the web page or something that would remember the interactive authorization. And then be able to do it through that method. But I don't know of any means to attempt to validate that. Because this was validating the token we got back, which works as long as that token is valid. The token actually has a definite expiration time. So yeah, there's no refresh method that can work without that client secret that I know of. Wait. Why are we getting audio ends? Because I'm an idiot. Okay. Audio end happens when we have an audio notice going. I should have set this up very similar to this. Model.audio notice. Maybe dot map. Well, I don't even need to map it really. This is more of a case of it just if it's not equal to nothing. We still have to handle both cases, so it kind of works. Maybe. Me bye. My favorite word, apparently. I could set up a server, but now I'm... Not only do I have to maintain a server... Wait. Oh, this thing pauses everything. So now we should not be getting lots of spurious messages. But that server has to be holding the client secret and maintaining state information. Well, technically it doesn't have to keep the tokens. I suppose I could use same origin on the request to allow it to make token refresh requests. And so as long as they don't mind it coming from a different IP address, which could be part of the tokens, I don't know. Maybe you could have a little server just for that one call. But if it does mind the IP address, then I'm going to have to send every single API request through that server, which would be kind of a bummer. So the weird thing is that they've got this Google OAuth client for web server applications. This is kind of similar. Client-side web applications. First authorization. The first authorization. So I would have to... Oh, can you add the query parameter consent? Oh. Access type. Oh, okay, so that's not in case where you want the refresh token. The refresh token expiry date. You request a new token. OS to web server. It's Java client. Access type approval prompt force to actually get the token, yeah. Oh, but this is making a direct... Oh, the URL has to be that, I guess. Well, no. Because I'm not even giving you a login URL right now. Well, the thing is, I would like this to eventually be an application that anyone could just go to a web page and use. And if I don't have to maintain a server, so much the better. Yeah, client secret. So that's the problem. When they say, well, this is for client applications. I don't even know if they have refresh. Refresh token, okay. From what I can tell, to call refresh, this is revoking a token. But from all the documentation I found on the refresh process says you have to have the client secret. They're not even mentioning in this topic. So I might be able to get a refresh token. No, so actually what I can do is I'm in the unauthenticated state. People were saying that I do have to pass this offline thing, perhaps. Access type online. So I might have to do offline. The refresh token, but I don't think I can refresh it without a secret. And I also need to get local storage set up because since it's the thing that you only get when you first connect, I mean, it's a place to store it. Oh, also, interesting thing, the chat's starting to roll off. That's approximately what is visible in the window. Interesting. Oh. They're actually removing it. So you can't actually get chat history. Oh no, it may have reset when I toggled the stream. Anyway. Yeah, and before I go messing with refresh tokens, I might actually want to start to be checking my UUID stuff. So, yeah. We've got some stuff to better handle expiration. Notes. Token refresh requires offline parameter. Only get refresh on first auth. On first auth, interactive auth, maybe. May require client secret. Yeah, I'm actually just, it's lunchtime for me, so I am just making my notes, and I actually have an errand to run this afternoon, so it may be a little bit longer till I can get back for afternoon gaming. So try to handle token expiration and turn off unnecessary timers. Add to-do list to notes. All right, so that's that. And with that, we're done for the day, for the morning at least. Thanks to Nizos for bringing some friends, as well as Dog and Lake, Ocerat Gaming, Sturmius Leopard, Dead Mix Games, Joy Chef Ray P, Kuro Kitsune, One Jellybean, and Two Left for to Cry for hosting me. I can be found at approximately, or I have been found at approximately these times. There may be some disruptions in that, and if you want to know more about that, look for the recent highlights on the videos. And I just set up a Discord for schedule announcements and things. If you're interested in that, which should be down below. Let's see, do we have anybody else? Looks like he might be wrapping up soon himself. Yeah. And he's got enough viewers at the moment anyway. Do you have a schedule? As best I can tell, you might be almost done as well. You know what? Well, he's been going for a while, but I don't know what his schedule is. But Wolvenscar just came in here and said hi the other day, so... Oh, and music is no longer synced with the preview viewer, which is good because it actually remembers it's off. But he's playing Stardew. Last time I was there, he was doing multiplayer. He's a pretty cool guy, even though he doesn't have a mic, but he is pretty interactive in Twitch chat. So if you want to talk to him, just say hi, and he should answer back. But anyway, I found him in 1hour1 Life. I see him do a couple of other things. So if you're looking for someplace cool to hang out, that's someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye-bye, and until next time.